Homie,
Mr. Popo,
homie,
Mr. Popo,
homie.
Mr. Popo.
Peter Griffin. Yeah. On with the video.
I am Prince Vegeta. Kneel before your god.
What's going on, everybody? Andre here with the DM Network, y'all. And today in Dragon Ball Game Project Z, I want to discuss a little bit more in depth as far as the combat and the skill gap, in a sense, in retrospect to the power level versus skill. But before we get into that, y'all, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Doesn't cost you anything at all to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. We upload almost every day. Also follow us on Twitter as well as Instagram, because pretty active on there as well. Now, on with the video. So, y'all, I was thinking about Dragon Ball, and I've been rewatching Dragon Ball Super, and I know that this game is going to be a Dragon Ball Z based game, but this is something to consider because this was even prevalent in Dragon Ball Z, but it just became more prevalent in Dragon Ball Super, and that is power level versus skill. So I'm wondering, you know, will that be represented in the game? Because if you watch the Tournament of Power, you realize that Kale, Caulifla, and then Kefla, whenever they fused, while they were powerful, they couldn't really match Goku until their power exceeded his, in a sense, you know? So basically it was like, if your power level is lower than your opponent, you can still do good against them if your martial arts skill is better than theirs. But when their power level is just substantially greater, then they're just overwhelmed with power. This is a big issue that Goku pointed out with Goten and Trunks and why they couldn't enter into the tournament. Goku simply said because Goten and Trunks were unpolished. It isn't that they hadn't had a power. They're stronger than Krillin, you know, especially at Super Saiyan. However, they just lack the martial arts ability. Now, you know, games like Xenoverse, you know, I'll sit there and I wonder, why is there no power scaling? You know, why is it that, you know, you can fight with Krillin and beat Beerus, in a sense, you know, or Yamcha even? You know, I want realism to the Dragon Ball games that we play. And largely in part, I understand because they're multiplayer games that you don't have true power scaling, but you would see that more in a single player game. That's why I'm excited about this game. Hopefully it's mostly, if not all, single player. That way we could have some power scaling in the game. And I also want skill to play a part, because let's be real, if you look at a game like Xenoverse, there are different characters that take off different amounts of damage. However, you go into training mode, you're working on the game mechanics, is actually making you a better fighter. It's giving you more skill. In Dragon Ball Z, in the other Dragon Ball genres, Dragon Ball, really more Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, it became more prevalent that just because you're powerful doesn't make you a good fighter. Caulifla, no, it was Kale. Kale, when she went berserk, she was super powerful, but she could be beat because she lacked the polish of a fighter, Goku being a martial arts master. Now, what made his fight with Broly difficult in the Dragon Ball Super movie was the fact that Broly was learning how to fight as he was fighting, and that's what made him better. Because otherwise, going berserk mode or just going full power mode, your attacks are direct and they're easy to counter and things of that nature. So I'm interested to see, will they do that in this game? Because to me, that's a very special thing that goes overlooked a lot. Just because somebody is a Super Saiyan, like to say, if I have all the Saiyans, all of them at Super Saiyan level 1, that doesn't mean that they're all of equal power. See, some people do think that. They think, oh, well, Goten and Trunks Super Saiyan is the same power level as Goku at Super Saiyan. No, and a lot of people know that that's not true, because Goku in his base form could defeat even Gohan at Super Saiyan 1 level. You know, power level does matter. Power level and fighting skill go hand in hand. Kind of like if you look at a car, the horsepower and the torque go hand in hand. A car can have monstrous amounts of horsepower, But if it doesn't have any torque, it's not going to accelerate fast, and it's going to take it longer to reach its top speed. Horsepower is what enables the car to maintain its speed. Torque is what gets it to that top speed. So just like in the Dragon Ball universe, and I would like to see in the games, you know, power level is what allows you to do a lot of damage. However, fighting skill is what allows you to execute and get in a position to deal such damage, you know, said damage. So I guess, you know, you could have those two options, those two branches, and you could have a power level skill tree as well as a martial arts skill tree. And in your martial arts skill tree, you can have things such as reaction time or speed. I think speed is very, very cool to have in your defense and stuff like that. So it puts you in position to land attacks that will utilize your power level, and also allows for you early on in the game, since you'll be at a lower level than your enemies, to be able to win fights based off of your martial arts skill and things like that. Basically, I want them to add skill to the game. You know, I do talk about power levels and training and stuff, but it's not all about power level. Fighting isn't all about power level, so we do want them to utilize that and do add some skill element to the game. Now, I know this is an RPG game, and that's interesting because a lot of RPGs are skill-based games. There are mechanics within the games that you have to figure out and learn. Now, I don't want skill in the sense of fighting skill like Dragon Ball FighterZ or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken. I'm not talking about skill like that. That's talking about stick skills. I'm talking about more, you know, freelance Dragon Ball skills, you know, simple martial arts skills, you know, finding your opponent's weaknesses and combating that and things of that nature. So I'm wondering, what will they do with that, if they'll even do that at all, or if they'll even have power scaling in the game. With it being an RPG, it's a pretty high assumption that they will, because most RPGs have leveling systems that deal with power scaling. Will they do it similar to the Assassin's Creed games, where you can pretty much go anywhere in the map, or even Horizon Zero Dawn did this. You can pretty much go anywhere in the map and it was open to you, but you know, you're level 1 and you go to a level 10 guy, he's gonna annihilate you, kind of thing. I don't think they'll do that so much with this game, simply because it's more story based. It's an anime. It has a story set to it, as opposed to Assassin's Creed doesn't have a set story. I mean, you can, but it would be like in this game going straight to fight Frieza or Majin Buu when you haven't even reached that point in the story yet. You get what I'm saying? So I know that's not going to happen. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do the leveling, how they're going to do the progression in the game. Who are we going to be fighting that's going to be leveling us up? I imagine during the Saiyan saga, or the Saiyan saga, I imagine we'll be fighting Cybermen, and we'll be training against each other. And then the Namekian saga, the Frieza saga, will be fighting against Frieza soldiers. If it goes to the Cell saga, that's going to be interesting to see who will we be fighting to get stronger. And then on with the Buu saga, kind of like the same thing. Who are going to be the NPCs or the other characters, in the sense that we'll be fighting in the game to get stronger? Because I know in Dragon Ball Budokai, it was the Cybermen, you know, and stuff like that, and Frieza soldiers in Xenoverse and stuff like that. So that's my take on it, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.